What's up guys, welcome back to CS2 Daily. I hope you're all having a great day. We've got a bit of a mixed bag of updates for you today while we wait for Blast London playoffs to kick off, from a 16-year-old prodigy hitting #1 FACEIT to phzy getting recalled back to Wildcard, Virtus.pro promoting a teenager straight into the main roster, ECSTATIC shuffling out Kristou for acoR, and of course the Blast playoff bracket now being locked in. Let's break it all down. First up, at just 16 years old, MOUZ, the Swedish prodigy, has climbed all the way to the #1 FACEIT Elo spot worldwide. If he holds on to it until the end of the season, he'll officially become the youngest champion in FACEIT history, breaking donk's record by over 6 months, which is absolutely insane. This is huge because normally we talk about players like m0NESY, donk, or even phzy back in the day as generational talents who started dominating early, and now MOUZ is about to write his own name in that same conversation. I swear, it's like every year it's just a new, younger talent that comes into the scene. And it's not just about hype either. His Elo grind has been insane, day after day, consistently holding his own against Tier 1 and Tier 2 talent in pugs. The fact he's managed to not just break into the top 10, but secure #1 is massive. And look, FACEIT isn't always a perfect reflection of pro-level play, but it's absolutely a spotlight for raw skill and consistency. A lot of orgs are going to be looking at this kid if they aren't already. Imagine being 16 and already ahead of donk's record-setting pace. That is absolutely insane. So yeah, MOUZ has a chance to end the season as the youngest FACEIT champion of all time. If he does, this could be the first step towards seeing him in Tier 1 Counter-Strike sooner than we think. Which leads us to the next topic, which is Wildcard, and they have recalled phzy from his loan at 9. phzy only joined 9 on July 31st, but he's already heading back to America after Wildcard cancelled the loan. According to 9, this wasn't their choice at all, in the statement that we'll have a look at right here, and they wanted to keep phzy, especially after the stability he brought and the results they've had recently. The statement says phzy has been recalled by Wildcard. This was not according to our plan, but due to circumstances outside of 9's control, our hope was to continue playing with phzy, especially given the strong results we've had recently and the stability he's brought to the team. Wildcard recalled phzy in early August, and since then we've been in dialogue trying to find a solution that works for all parties. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find such a solution. phzy will be travelling back to the US on the 4th of September until we found our long-term replacement. We'll use stand-ins for the upcoming LAN events. A huge thank you to phzy for his short but sweet time with us. We wish him the best of luck going forward. So, you know, apparently the two orgs have been negotiating since August to try and keep him in Europe, but there is no solution. And now 9 are losing their highest rated player mid-season, which is absolutely brutal timing. For Wildcard, this means phzy slots back into the lineup, but it's not exactly a clean situation either. They've had a messy few months already, transfer listing susp, benching and reinstating Stannis Law, question marks around Sonic, and now bringing phzy back means their academy oppa friend is now probably the one who gets dropped. But at the time of recording, Wildcard hasn't confirmed who's out. Put it into context, Wildcard are sitting 60th in the VRS right now, which puts them 14th in line for a Budapest major invite with only 10 NA or South American spots available. They badly need results, and clearly they felt recalling phzy was necessary to try and get them back on track. As for 9, they're stuck playing with stand-ins until they find a permanent replacement. So yeah, not the cleanest move by Wildcard, but it shows how desperate they are to turn things around before major invites go out. And for 9, losing phzy like this is it's just a massive setback for them. So yeah, really tough one. Meanwhile, roster news out of Virtus.pro, and they've wasted no time replacing Electronic, and 17-year-old Toro, gonna absolutely butcher that name, has been promoted from Virtus.pro prodigy straight into the main squad. This move also confirms Perfecto is taking over IGL duties, and Toro will be slotting into the anchor role. Virtus.pro said they've been testing academy players, and Toro impressed enough to win the spot for now. The kid's been one of the best riflers on Virtus.pro prodigy, averaging a 1.12 rating this year, while helping them beat teams like Liquid and Foot in Blast Rising, and even winning a couple lower tier online events. His debut for the main squad will come at Fisher Playground 2 on September 12th, so not long until we see how he handles Tier 1 CS. So with Turo stepping up, the new Virtus.pro looks like this. We've got Flip, Perfecto, Fame, Icy, and Turo. Perfecto as IGL, and Turo filling the anchor role. So pretty big moment for him, and we'll see how they do. Next up, more Danish roster news, and ECSTATIC have benched Kristou after Blast Open London, and they've also parted ways with coach Manx due to personal commitments. Kristou's exit came after a nightmare showing versus FaZe, where he put up a 0-13 Dust 2, the second worst map rating of his entire career, and that basically sealed the deal after 17 months with the team, even though he did help them lift Elisa Nordic earlier this year. But ECSTATIC haven't wasted any time because they've already signed a new oppa, and that's acoR. The former MOUZ and Gamer Legion sniper has been grinding on mixed teams and stood in for Gamer Legion at IEM Dallas earlier this year, but now he's finally back with a permanent home. The team sits just outside the major qualification zone in the European standings, so adding someone with acoR's experience is clearly a push to try and get over that line. Their next test will be BetClick Clash Summer in Poland, with Fnatic headlining the event. So, the new ECSTATIC lineup is TMB, Analele, Nut, Syrah, and now acoR on the op. So, very curious to see how that one turns out, and we won't have long to find out either. And finally, the online stage is done, the dust has settled, and the Blast Open London playoff bracket is officially locked, and I personally cannot wait for these games. 6 teams are making the trip to Wembley Arena, and the matchups are looking spicy. I already kind of covered it in the last video to some degree, but Vitality and FURIA both earned straight shots into semi-finals. Vitality weren't exactly convincing, but 3 wins over M80, Gamer Legion and FaZe got them over the line. And on the other side, FURIA were much sharper. They smashed Spirit and MOUZ in back-to-back 2-0s and locked themselves into the top 4. That left us the quarterfinals looking stacked. MOUZ will be facing off against the surprise of the tournament, M80, which nobody expected to be there, to be quite frank. And then you've got FaZe versus G2, only their second meeting of 2025, and easily one of the most hyped matchups of the entire bracket, especially with the new addition Jacob, you know, slowly getting his groove in there. Brokey looking absolutely phenomenal since his return, and Frozen doing Frozen things. Yeah, so winner of those series will move on to face Vitality and FURIA in the semis, and it all leads up to a best of 5 grand final on September 7th inside Wembley Arena. So yeah, the group stage had its chaos. Na'Vi bombed out early, Virtus.pro imploded, Spirit collapsed, but now it's down to 6. And with this bracket, Wembley is about to be absolutely insane. Blast London playoffs kick off on the September 5th. With MOUZ versus M80, followed by FaZe versus G2. And I will be covering all these games, so don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care.